What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel once again. I'm obviously out here tinkering with the Gallardo. If you're a car guy like me, you're online all the time poking around. I'm looking at car parts and all sorts of different stuff, most of which I have absolutely no business looking at because I don't have the money or the time to deal with it right now. So anyway, that's kind of what happened with today's little project. I was poking along and stumbled across an offer I couldn't refuse, so I went ahead, took a gamble, and purchased it, and I'm going to install it today, and I'll show you what we got. If you follow the channel, you've seen the Gallardo on more than one occasion. Everything's pretty well stocked factory. It's an 04, so everything is 20 years old. Very well kept, super clean car. I've always had this image in my mind of what I want the car to look like. I kind of chip away at it as I can afford to do so. I want to add a little bit of carbon fiber back here. I always thought the carbon fiber airboxes were really cool. The Fab Speed pieces are a super cool option. They're actually shaped a little bit different than the factory ones here. Fab Speed claims an additional 15 horsepower with their modification, but you're going to pay for them. I believe the price was roughly $1,700 with their silicone intake tubes. Just not something that's feasible for me right now. So anyway, like I said, I was online poking around. I was actually on bullstuff.com, and I stumbled across some 100% carbon blemished factory airboxes. Didn't really have a whole lot of other detail about what that meant exactly. I reached out to them to confirm that they would at least be functional, and I went ahead and took the gamble because the price was pretty unbeatable for what they are. And I will show them to you. Here is one. Here is the other. Now these actually look pretty good, and they will be, as described, 100% functional. The blemishes are purely aesthetic. And most people won't be able to see the blems at all once they're on the car. 10 feet away out in the sunlight, these things look pretty good. Now once you actually get your nose up to them and you start doing some further inspection, let me bring it out here in the daylight, you can see where the blems are. Hopefully the camera will pick that up in the carbon fiber. A little bit of a smeared appearance on the corner there. A little bit right there as well. Just in the actual aesthetics of the weave, for the most part, they look pretty good. Super lightweight. These things, I thought the box was empty at first. There's nothing to them. Now, full disclosure, these actually look really good right now, and they look a little bit better. Even than when they came to me, they were pretty plain. Most of this stuff is just like a gel coat, almost like a fiberglass finish. I actually have already taken 1,000 grit sandpaper to these. I sanded them down. I had 3/4 of a can of aerosol 2K clear. These have been clear coated, and then they were wet sanded again with 1,000 grit, and I polished them out. So they look really phenomenal, especially from a distance. Most people will never stand here and figure out and even notice the blems in the carbon fiber weave. Personally, I don't really care. I don't have the glass engine bonnet, at least not as of yet. Something I would love to cook up in the future, but for now, yeah, I think these will look great. So if you are interested, unfortunately, I reached out to bullstuff before I purchased these to confirm that they were in stock. They had 3 pair at the time I purchased these. That means there are 2 left. I would strongly suggest reaching out to them. They are sold in a pair, so that means there's 4 total, 2 pair left. Reach out to them, send an email, confirm that they're in stock before you place your order, end up with disappointment. If the extra 15 horsepower or a perfect weave are important to you, this may not be the route to go. I paid, I believe, tax, shipping, everything. I got these for right about $600. They said the Fab Speed version going to give you a little more horsepower according to their claim, but they're going to cost you 3 times as much as well. And even the non-blem models of these are running roughly $1,000 based off of what I've seen. Obviously, install is pretty simple and straightforward on these. You can see I've already pulled the plastic shield out of the way, just some T15, T27 Torx. Get that out of the way. You can do pretty much the rest with a flat head, as long as you got the factory fasteners. And get everything on screwed up here, get these things yanked off. Obviously, once you get everything loose, you can start dismantling things and wiggling everything out of there. And if you haven't checked or changed your air filters recently, now might be a good time since you've done the labor to expose them. And we'll get things swapped around here. Important to note, on the left side, don't forget to dig this little guy out and get it swapped over. Just pull it out of there. Sorry, I only got 2 hands. And we'll swap that little guy over to the new one. Speaking of air filters, if you guys are curious or don't already know, these are the BMC filters. And I changed these out when I very first bought the car because the other ones had been in here a while. They were kind of dingy and filthy. And what an incredibly worthwhile upgrade if you guys do need air filters. If for nothing else, when you're driving with the window down, you can really hear these things sucking. The flow increases is quite noticeable. Makes it sound really cool. Anyway, while I'm in here, I am going to also, and purely for aesthetics, replace the intake tubes as well. Now there's nothing wrong with mine physically. I've been told, you know, these are rubber like anything else, that 20 years heating and cooling, that these are notorious for cracking. Absolutely nothing wrong with mine. Like I said, everything I'm doing is purely for aesthetics, so I'm swapping these things out. I'll hang on to these in case I need them or have issues with the others for some reason. But I'm going to be swapping them out with these silicone intake hoses. Nice, pretty orange ones to match the car. So that's what we'll be swapping them out with. So these are China made. These are no name brand. These are all over eBay. That's where I purchased these for, I think, just over $100. They are a 4-ply silicone fiber reinforced. And these actually feel like really decent quality. I've messed with a lot of silicone hoses, coolant hoses. If you are an OG subscriber to the channel, you know I swapped out all the coolant elbows and things like that on the sand rail with the silicone hoses. They held up quite nicely. I actually know another Gallardo owner. I was able to check these out. He's actually running them on his car, has been for over a year without any problems. Now I was told that these China hoses will collapse in heat and that they won't hold up, but these feel standard quality to me. I don't see any reason there's going to be any sort of issues with these at all. Like I said, they're all over AliExpress, everything like that. They probably all come from the same China manufacturer. Bottom line, I don't think that one's going to be any better than another, but I don't see any reason why these won't work. Now the one noticeable difference right off the bat is that they are noticeably a bit longer than the factory ones, which is fine. So I will take these and cut them down to the size that I need. Otherwise the too long things won't clear, run into them. So yeah, they don't look terribly long, but definitely a little bit. So yeah, we'll take those over on the bench and cut them down to size. Yeah, I'd rather have it longer than shorter for sure. Definitely not a problem I'm used to having. Yes, pun intended. Alright guys, with the silicone hoses cut, I'm going to loosely install the clamps, kind of mock everything up here, and we'll put them back in the car. And then it should just be a quick, simple reinstall from here. Like I said, I left everything loose. We can line things up as needed before we get them snug back down. Kind of like so. Alright YouTube, quick easy install, and here is a look at the final finished product. Thanks once again for joining me, YouTube. We are fast approaching 2,300 subscribers. Channel is growing slowly but surely. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys are looking for a project like this, like I said, Fab Speed makes phenomenal products. If you're really interested in the 15 horsepower gain, that very well may be the way to go. If you're like me, you're rolling on a budget and you're just looking for an inexpensive way to really aesthetically dress up the engine bay, this was the most affordable option I could find. Everything went together as it should. I couldn't be happier. I think it looks great, and like I said, someday we'll get to show it off with a glass engine cover. For now, we're gonna keep enjoying the car the way it is. Thanks again for watching, you guys. We'll see you on the next one.